Hi, welcome to this episode of What I Call Geography. Today we're going to look at the development indicator of people per doctor in a little bit more detail. Previously, we've looked at different development indicators, and this is covered in a different video. But just as an overview, we have GNI, gross national income, birth rates, death rates, infant mortality, life expectancy, people per doctor, education, access to safe water, and HDI. The key aspects about people per doctor are that it's worked out as a ratio. It's the number of doctors against how many people they treat on average. So for example, let's take the UK. So every doctor in the UK treats on average 350 patients. In Afghanistan, every doctor in Afghanistan treats on average about 5,000 patients. So you can see there's a big difference in the development of the doctors in that country. We've got some limitations. Here's some of the limitations that we've got. One, it's an average. So in the UK, each doctor's surgery, each GP doesn't treat 350 people because of course there are lots of doctors working in the NHS and different areas of the medical profession who are not GPs. So it's not just general practice that we're talking about. There might be some doctors that treat a very, very small number of patients, but they might need intensive care, so that affects that number there. So it's what the doctors do. In some countries there might be lots of doctors, but they might be employed, say, in private practice, or they might be employed in other things such as cosmetic surgery, particularly say in HICs, higher income countries. So the doctors are not necessarily treating medical conditions, they might be cosmetic doctors. So that's down to the role of the doctor. Next, it doesn't necessarily tell us about the access that people have to these doctors. So in the UK, we have free access to medical care to our GPs. We call up, we get an appointment, and we have free access. However, in other countries, there isn't an NHS or National Health Service or access. People have to pay for that access. So it doesn't tell us about the access that people have in that country. It also doesn't tell us about the other means that people might get medical attention. So, for example, in parts of rural or countryside India, many people seek advice from doctors, say, over the phone or by video messaging. So that data isn't recorded as part of this ratio here. So the accuracy of data might sometimes cause some of the issues. So overall, it's a good indicator because it tells us about healthcare in a country and therefore how well people might be. However, there's some problems, there's some limitations with this particular indicator. As a summary, it's about the number of people that a doctor treats, and it's worked out as a ratio for every doctor. On average, how many does that doctor treat? Some of the limitations are, it's an average. So some doctors might treat many more, some doctors might treat many less. It doesn't tell us about the access, and it doesn't tell us about the role of the doctors, and it doesn't tell us about the other means that people access medical care, so maybe by telephones. Thank you very much for watching this episode of What I Call Geography about development indicators and the number of people per doctor.